The feds are suing Colony Ridge. It's December 20th, 2023, and these are your headlines. The Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit against the Colony Ridge housing development, accusing the developers of using bait-and-switch predatory loans. We've talked about Colony Ridge before. We have a video on it if you want to go look back on it. If you're not familiar, located northeast of Houston in Liberty County, Colony Ridge has been criticized for marketing to illegal aliens and potentially attracting cartel activity to the area. For example, Terranos Houston, the marketing program for Colony Ridge, advertises to potential buyers that they do not require traditional bank loans, nor do they need a social security number or a proven job history. Instead, they operate through owner-financed lots, essentially for illegal aliens who don't qualify for certain loans. That's clearly who they're advertising to. The lawsuit, filed in the Southern District of Texas, says that the developers have, quote, lured tens of thousands of Hispanic consumers into using predatory seller financing to purchase land, promising they would logra el sueño americano aquí, achieve the American dream here. Pardon my pronunciation. The DOJ also says the development falsely advertises that residents will have access to utilities. They say, in fact, many of the lots in the subdivisions lack costly infrastructure to connect utilities. Moreover, parts of the subdivisions have experienced significant flooding during rains, increasing the cost to build dwellings, which Colony Ridge's marketing and the representations of its agents further obscure. This isn't the only trouble the developers now find themselves in. Just earlier this week, the Daily Wire reported that the development awarded more than $16 million, taxpayer dollars, to a paving company with close ties to board members. The Governor Greg Abbott had tasked lawmakers with addressing the Colony Ridge development in a special session just a couple months ago. In turn, the legislature allocated an additional $40 million to the Texas Department of Public Safety to use for policing the development. But they went further, they didn't go further, and that was all they ended up doing. So this shouldn't really surprise folks. The legislature was tasked with addressing this illegal alien housing development, and their solution was to throw more money at the problem. Officials in Collin County are refusing to release video taken during a recent incident with a member of the Texas House. Following a run-in with the Collin County Sheriff's deputy the evening of September 28th, State Representative Jeff Leach was charged with 3 violations: driving on the wrong side of the road, disregarding official traffic control device, and driving with an expired license. Now, on December 12th, Collin County prosecutors granted what's called deferred disposition to Leach on the first 2 charges, while dropping the expired license charge. Even though the cases are no longer pending, the Office of Collin County Sheriff Jim Skinner is refusing to release body cam footage of Leach's incident. After Texas Scorecard made a request through the Public Information Act for all records and video related to the incident, the sheriff appealed to the Office of the Attorney General to keep the records hidden. Now, in a letter to the OAG, the attorneys representing the Collin County Sheriff's Office claimed the case was pending and therefore was subject to an exemption from disclosure. Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis, however, told Texas Scorecard that the exemption no longer applies. He said that the AG's office has previously ruled that a Class C misdemeanor case is no longer pending once someone is on deferred adjudication. This means the pending litigation exception no longer applies and the information is public. Well, that's great, but despite that, the sheriff's office is continuing to refuse to release the footage. Texas Scorecard has also requested the footage directly from the DA's office. As of publishing today, that request had not been fulfilled. The incident was essentially unknown to the public until earlier this month. After the existence of video footage of the incident, Jeff Leach told an Austin-based political website that he was, quote, eager was the word he used, for the public to view the footage. He's made no public comments about the footage being withheld by Skinner's office.
If you're not watching the Luke Macias Show, then you are not as engaged as everybody else is in Texas who's trying to make a difference, knowing exactly what's going on so that they can take action on the things that really matter. Guys, watch us on the Roku app for Texas Scorecard. Watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Get engaged, get more informed, so together we can actually make a bigger difference on things that matter for the future of Texas. God bless you.
Last up, new government numbers obtained from Border Patrol show that the southwest border saw yet another day of record-breaking encounters. Although CBP has yet to release November's official monthly numbers, the trend of record-setting days of illegal aliens attempting to enter the United States continues. On Monday of this week, Customs and Border Protection agents encountered 14,509 illegal aliens, breaking the 12,000 record that was set just 2 weeks ago. Additionally, different ports of entry had more than 26,500 total individuals in custody. The Del Rio sector, which encompasses Eagle Pass and Del Rio, had the highest number of encounters with 3,100. The Rio Grande Valley saw about 1,500, and the El Paso sector encountered just under 1,400. On Sunday, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol's Office of Field Operations announced that they would temporarily suspend railroad operations in Eagle Pass and El Paso. CBP had cited the resurgence of migrants being smuggled through Mexico on freight trains as one of their reasons for suspending operations. Earlier this month, CBP had temporarily suspended vehicle processing at the Eagle Pass Bridge and reduced it in places like Lukeville, Arizona. The suspension was an effort to redirect personnel to assist Border Patrol agents with taking illegal aliens into custody and processing them. Meanwhile, while all that is going on, Governor Abbott has, of course, just signed 2 landmark border security pieces of legislation in an attempt to take control of Texas's southern border. Senate Bill 3 provides funding for border barrier infrastructure, while Senate Bill 4 makes it a crime to enter the state illegally. Of course, as we talked about yesterday, that legislation's already drawn a lawsuit from the American Civil Liberties Union, meaning it could be tied up in court for some time. You can check out more of today's stories at TexasScorecard.com.